Are we live? Yeah, okay, there we go. Check 1 2 1 2, checking the sound. We clicked the button. What is going on, guys, gals, aliens, and DGen freaks? Welcome back to the channel. So we got all of this news, bullish news right now breaking with XRP ETF filings. Trump mentioned XRP. And then we also have Litecoin with ETF filings. So I wonder who is actually going to get it first. Is it going to be XRP or is it going to be Litecoin? Maybe both at the same time. Who knows? But ultimately, it is bullish for the ETF narrative for these fundamental crypto projects that have been around for a little bit. But whether you like XRP or not, whether you like Litecoin or not, this is going to be ultimately bullish because we saw what happened with Bitcoin with the ETF. It didn't mean we didn't get volatility, but it did shoot Bitcoin to all-time highs whenever we had the institutional adoption of the ETFs for Bitcoin. It definitely was a big win. So is this going to be a big influx of liquidity into XRP and also for Litecoin with the modalities of these ETFs? It's very well possible. But we have to know that still, even with the ETFs, these are altcoins, and we are probably not going to get a full actual true altcoin season until the Bitcoin dominance starts to go down a little bit, which it seems like it's starting to go down. And we have an area marked that we feel like Bitcoin dominance could go down to, that could help the altcoins push up a little bit more, which would be around the 57% altcoin dominance, Bitcoin dominance. And then we can see how the rest of the market can start to push up, which is, the total crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin and ETH, which is currently sitting at under $1 trillion. So at its peak was sitting at $1.2 trillion. So this is moving the price of XRP right now. We had like a nice 5% pump. So let's check it out. Let's see what's happening right now. We got a little bit of volatility. We hit some resistance at $2.67 here in the past 5 minutes. Bitcoin right now is a little volatile, so it's kind of carrying the rest of the market sentiment and just the price movements. But we did get a nice price pump on XRP with all of that bullish news. And it's funny, me and Headband were going back and forth. He was getting so mad at me for the comments that I made about XRP. It was funny, but we were both giving each other a hard time, I think. But I guess with XRP, it's like, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm not going to hold it. I'm not going to hold XRP. But you know what? I'll trade it. I'd rather hold Bitcoin and all the other stuff, but you know what? I'll trade XRP. So, hey, if it's going to pump, I'll trade it. Go for it. Please, pump to $5. Pump to $5. I'll be in a trade. But we'll see if it actually keeps going, because we have some levels that we obviously want to hit. We want to break that. We want to break that previous resistance that was at that all-time high of $3.40. But if we go back historically, we go back on the XRP chart. Let's see where it was. Or even just let's go to the chart. We're going to look at what's actually, let's go back because I want to look at what's up on the hourly here in the top 50, top 100. We have Floki up 3%. The BitGet token up 1.7%. BitTensor up almost 2%. XDC network. Then we have Sonic, previously Phantom, and this has actually been doing really well over the past week, up 41% on the weekly. I think a lot of people were paying attention to Solana, and all the eyes were on Solana, and all the while, maybe big money and big whales were accumulating Sonic on the back end and, waiting for the inevitable possible pump on this thing coming up in this March, April, May portion of this year. Also, kind of Monero's been sneaky. No one's been talking about Monero really, and this has kind of steadily been holding a decent chart while a lot of other stuff has been getting destroyed. So maybe that could be something we could keep on our radar. And then XRP over the past 7 days has been doing pretty good, up 10%. And then Barachain over the past 7 days, getting a recovery from its launch, 18%. And that's a new chain. So this is what is doing pretty decent right now on the hourly and also for the week. If you look at the altcoins right now, go to danocrypto.com. And if you go to the 5 minute, we'll go to the daily. Aptos, Talbot, Tensor, like we were saying. Litecoin has been doing really well. Litecoin has actually been solidifying itself and just saying, hey guys, don't forget about me. Don't forget about Litecoin. Whilst all the memes and things and the rug pulls are getting attention, we got Dave Portnoy released 2 different meme coins, Greed and then Greed 2, and specifically told people, I'm going to dump on you so then I can put it in a jail stool. And it's just, it's pretty crazy. And then he's making videos just kind of, patronizing the entire space. He's like, yeah, you guys suck. I'm just extracting money from you. And people are either really upset or they're just like, yeah, this is what you came into. Welcome to crypto. It's pretty wild. But yeah, Litecoin on the trending coin list. Mystery is so. Here's the thing with this. There's so many Pepe type coins, and this one might be, I think, from the Matt Fuhrer category. I think this, from what I'm remembering from like just a couple months ago, that this was, I guess, one of the original characters. I am not sure. I have no idea, but I'm just going off of my memory right now of what. I don't know why this is trending. But here's a trending list. This is just according to CoinMarketCap. But let's go to trending list on Morales Money. And we can actually see what is trending right now in terms of the, let's see, the 1 hour price charts. So Jail Dave on Solana is trending. That's hilarious. Thales, Hurricane, there's a lot of meme stuff. Not too interested in that list right now. But we're gonna go through some of the news. We're gonna go through some of the charts. The thing that I kind of wanted to focus on a little bit just for this particular stream, because I thought about it, I was like, man, if you think about the 4-year halving cycle, it's still in play. And then you look at this funny chart. People make fun of the Bitcoin rainbow chart all the time. You bring it up, they're like, "Wow, you're such a why?" Like, I don't want to look at the Bitcoin rainbow chart. And I love the Bitcoin rainbow chart. I remember finding this chart in like 2021 or 2022. I think someone pulled it up on their channel, and I was like, "Oh, this is great! What a great representation of where this thing can go." And if you kind of look at where we're sitting right now, I want to go back and actually want to pull this chart up on. This. It's funny, we're actually we're in the accumulation zone. We're in a sweet accumulation zone to bring us to a really interesting area on this chart that can happen if you kind of look at how these waves happen. Kind of have that wave here, swoop wave here, swoop wave here. And this one has just been very overextended, but just about almost the same length as this, where it swooped into this, you know, basically a fire sale. And if it followed this pattern of the rainbow, then we get to kind of about where the price we've been calling around for August and September. So we go to our chart here. August, September. I mean, I'd be happy if it was at 247. I mean, I think we all would, but we're just gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see what happens. But historically, what we've seen on these 4-year halving cycles, we have the halving happen in the year that it happens, and then the year after is where we get the biggest run, and it takes about 520 days. There was a metric that calculated the average peak price of Bitcoin whenever we go into those cycles, and it's about 520 something days. So if we were just to kind of go by that, 520 something odd days from the halving, and we go out 500 days, bringing us to, this is about where I think we could go. But at this point, if we really do get an injection that everyone that's a Bitcoin maxi has been hoping that all of the fiat cash is just going to get dumped into Bitcoin, or at least portions of it, we could go extremely higher over the next 10 years. But I want something that's a store of value. I feel like the less that I want to, or the more that I'm in crypto, the less that I actually want to gamble, and I want to have almost an effect that, like how when people bought Bitcoin in 2013 or 14 or whenever they bought it early on and were able to hold some of that Bitcoin until now. Maybe they didn't hold all of it. Maybe they made some mistakes, whatever it may be. But if they were at least able to, even have one Bitcoin out of those cycles, then they were able to practice something that's really hard to practice right now. It's the thing that is really hard to practice right now because of the nature of the meme coin creations, the amount of coins that are created, the type of game that you can play when you get into crypto, because there's multiple games that you can play. It's all up to you if you want to step into the pump fund, casino of whatever chain it is. Pick your chain. Or you play the old school investor, time horizon. It's all up to you. You could play both games at the same time, but I think that even me just dipping my toe in a little bit, and I'm not going to say I'm like a full degen, like I'm 100% always in the trenches looking at the, trying to do the thing. Like I'm not fully in it like that, because even just dipping my toe in, I don't like how it feels. It's very stressful. And something that can maybe take a little bit of the edge off is starting to have just a little bit more like conviction in long-term holding strategy. Not meaning that you're round tripping every single damn cycle. I mean, you got to pay yourself a little bit. But if you're feeling stressed out and worn out and washed out right now, it might be because that you just don't feel secure. You're having to always pivot out of stuff, in and out. You're always having to you're always having to do that. Is that worth your stress level? Is it worth it for you? Then If it is, then yes, then please do it. But if it's not, and you see that it's affecting you, I would pivot. And that's what I'm realizing. It's like, it's like at a point, you got to pick what is your strategy, and how is it going to make you either not go crazy or not. Make you go crazy or not. Okay. This is interesting. I'm sure you guys have seen this. Elon Musk proposes that we get $5,000 of stimulus from the Doge dividends. I said we need a lot more. Definitely a lot more. Now, this is super bullish for Binance. I remember when this happened, when they took the USD off the platform, like where you couldn't have any more USD trading pairs. So this is pretty bullish for Binance for, kind of regulatory stuff in the United States. So then now you can get your USD fiat on-ramped onto Binance.us. So we'll see. We'll see how that develops. And I think overall, America is going to, they're loosening it up a little bit. They're loosening the noose. So we have the SEC acknowledges filing for the CoinShares Spot XRP ETF. So that is what is happening as of today. Yeah, the sentiment on Solana was pretty low. A lot of just because of all the nature of the meme coins and the scams that are happening. But Ivan on Tech was making, he was making a good point. He was like, look, the developers are there. They're, Solana is still going to be the place for developers and for things to be launched. And it was kind of like, this is like a stress test for the chain to be like NASDAQ on chain. I liked that perspective. It made sense. I was like, yeah. Solana in a few years, I am very curious to see where it could be. Will it be past $1,000? Could it really get that injection? B Light said, yeah, 5K seems like a lot, but maybe reimburse all the overpaid taxes for the last 40 years plus the 5. Yeah, because if you think about it, you've probably totally overpaid, or you've probably paid a lot more taxes than you realize, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've paid so much. And then we find out that Social Security is a scam. Like they've been paying Social Security out to dead people. So it's like, that's legit. So I thought that was ridiculous. I'm like, wow, there's documented payments for Social Security for someone who is clearly dead, and they're not alive anymore. And so where's that money going? So it's just like at the total wash of our funds, like across the board. And so it's really bad. Ozzy said, yo, what's cooking this chicken? Still kicking in the chicken in the kitchen. Still cooking this chicken in the kitchen. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Solana. It's really interesting. I was having a hard time trying to figure out what chain I wanted to build stuff on, or try and do an application, or if I wanted to have something, because I've been soft launching this coffee idea, this thing I've talked about, and I have coffee for sale, and I have a whole thing. I've already talked about it, but I'm always going to just pitch it a little bit but not to a point where I'm going to annoy the crap out of you guys. But I was trying to figure out what chain, what would I like to first try and get developer support or just use to have people quickly interact with my brand. And when I saw that Trump was going to be launching a meme coin, obviously he went for Solana. There's, a lot of the action is on Solana, whether it be a scam or not. The action is on Solana, and it's being stress tested. So I thought to myself, all right, well, I guess I'm going to just try and go for Solana. Doesn't mean I can't use other chains. Doesn't mean I don't bridge or have opportunities to be able to have liquidity and support on other chains. But something felt interesting on Solana. Felt maybe let's give Solana a shot. And we're going to see how far we can complete our roadmap for doing this coffee brand. And that's why we have this all kind of set up to be able to deploy on Solana. We'll see how it goes. But if you want to check this out, right now, I'm activating phase 1 of the roadmap, which is sell coffee. Sell the coffee. Yeah, sell the coffee. See if people buy it. I haven't sold a bag yet. No one has bought a bag yet. So if you want to be the first one to buy a bag and be the first one to receive Bean Coin rewards, be cool if you did. Yeah. It's really good coffee. 100% organic, locally roasted, Ethiopian Brazilian blend. And it's good coffee. And I'm going to experiment with the roast. I'm going to make different blends. And right now, if you want to just support the brand, you can actually go to the merch section here, and I have Bean Coin shirts, sweaters, mugs, t-shirts. And then all your usual suspects like the Bitcoin and the Buff Doge. Some fun things here. And pretty soon, I just have to figure out exactly how to do it because I'm trying to build this thing myself. I'm going to have a Bean Coin chat room where you can like post pictures of your coffee or whatever, or if you know how to do latte art. And it's going to be playing like some funky jazz music or something like that. We just have to figure out exactly how to make it. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I thought to myself, you know what? I was getting so distracted by all the meme coin drama and chucking a couple soul here and there at some of these pump fun things or whatever, or catching something thinking I'm like, oh, I'm going to be quick, and then I get distracted doing something else, and so it's nice to be able to have something of your own thing that you can work on, and doesn't have to be perfect. You're never going to launch something perfect and everyone's going to be like, oh, here it is. No, you got to just soft pitch stuff. You got to launch it. You got to do it, and then just build it up over time. And it's everyone's mission or goal is if you have an idea that eventually it gets noticed, it gets support, and then you start selling stuff, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like you could be making jewelry, it doesn't matter. People start noticing your stuff. You start picking up orders, and maybe for weeks you didn't sell. You just started and you haven't sold a damn thing. But doesn't mean you give up. I mean, you have to start somewhere. So you can talk about stuff forever. That's the thing. Like sometimes I'm like, if I keep talking about something and I don't do it, I'm going to drive myself insane. As well as anyone else who had been talking about like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. And then you don't ever do it. You don't ever actually do it. I can't do that. Like that's probably what makes me the most depressed out of anything is that I keep talking and saying stuff and not doing it. Makes me feel like a freaking loser. So That's why we're doing this. I have talked about this for 2 years, 2.5 years to myself, my wife, very small amount of people that I trust in this space that I've made content with, and I've asked their opinion on it. Told people like, hey, please don't take my idea. They're like, bro, I don't have time to take ideas. I don't have time to steal ideas. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. I'm selling coffee, but I think it's a pretty cool idea to combine these brands together. But yeah, I have a blockchain checkout, which is cool. So if you do want to buy some of the coffee, I have a cool. I saw this and I was like, oh, this is great. I was like, how can I do a simple wallet checkout if you want to connect your wallet and pay with you can pay with Solana, you can pay with all these different cryptos, and you can also just pay with your card too. But I like the fact that you could pay with crypto, and then I can see the transactions, and then I can actually then just total like grassroots just send you the bean coin whenever you buy it. But eventually there will be a smart contract that just whenever you buy a bag, it's just like, it just, you get rewarded. It'll just be kind of like an auto thing. That's the whole point. It's pretty simple, but it's not being done. Pretty simple and not being done. You would think it would be already happening, kind of what I'm talking about, but Benjamin Cohen's funny. He's always like, guys, you altcoins think you're doing something. He's like, the kids had their time to play, now it's my turn. And then Benjamin Cohen's like, against Bitcoin, you've been down 96%. It's not good. That's really funny. All right, so how's Bitcoin doing right now? Let's see. Look at the OKX chart. Oh, there's some scammy wicks. On the 45-minute, you can see here they're doing some big two wick candles right here, hammer stick candles right here. Man, why did that happen? Was there some orders that just absolutely needed to be filled? Something. They're like, we have to fill those. Shazzy said, bro, when is altcoin season? I think it's when Bitcoin dominance is at 56%. That is my honest opinion, because I think I'm starting to look, when I've looked at the dominance and how it acted whenever we had those March pumps on ETH, and also the February, March, April run that we had last year. Bitcoin dominance was here. Like, look, so December. Sorry. Let me go here. Where is. Yeah. Oh, it was even lower. Oh my gosh, it was even lower. The dominance in March, whenever we had that crazy, it was like 52%. So it was below 56%. And then whenever we had altcoins kind of running up a little bit too here in December, it was below 56%. And I guess if we could, okay, let's just say, let's go to December and look at ETH in December. It was it was pushing over 4K. It was pushing close to 4K. So it was kind of, so you could see the correlation to the dominance of Bitcoin and what ETH is doing. See? And then what ETH did at the same time, dominance, up. In December, if we go to December, not as high, but then but then when you go to March, April, May, this January, February, March, April, May, this time right here, where all things were flying. I mentioned Floki because Floki, I think, did actually the best run up. It was the 1,000% move to the upside, clean, just clean 1,000% in a matter of a month. And then we saw the dominance of ETH flip with Bitcoin, and it kind of gave us this pre-altcoin season. So I think if we start to see if dominance is starting to go down here like this, then that could be a good indication that we could have a bullish charge into alts. But we have March, April. So I think it's going to be more of a March, April lead up. Yeah, also that too. We're halfway there. We're about halfway there. It is not altcoin season. But, well, like I was saying, look, that area that I was just talking about where the dominance flipped, we were in altcoin season. That area in December, what I talked about when we had that interesting dominance flip, we were in an altcoin season. And we're kind of halfway. We're sitting at support from the last run-up. XRP definitely has some volume. It's moving. I think XRP right now, if you're thinking of maybe a swing trade, the thing with the ETF news, it's always like, okay, cool, the ETF maybe is approved, and then it gets approved, and then it's like, okay, we're trading off the news. Are they going to dump the price so then they can get a better price on XRP? Are they going to really launch the ETF at $5 XRP? Are they going to do that? Are they going to launch it at a $3 XRP? Are they going to launch it at an all-time high XRP? I don't know. I doubt it because they didn't do that with Bitcoin. I mean, they were like, here's the ETF. And then it went down like 15%. We're like, it's over. And then it went up. And then it went up. So it's like you might have to kind of gauge it a little bit. Might have to not have to pull the trigger so fast. We have to see. Because like I said, I'm not holding this. I'll trade it. I'll trade it to $5. And then I'll take the profits and then I'm going to put it in Bitcoin. Because I won't be able to take my XRP to space. Headband's throwing up right now. He's like, I've had enough with you. I've had enough of you, sir. It's like, I will not stand for this. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.